What's going on, internet fam? How we doing? I'm in the dark, and I'm totally sunburned. If I look like the devil himself, riding around in my car in the dark, sunburnt, with my little interior light on here. I am happy, sad, every kind of emotion right now. And only partly because of cryptocurrencies. Let's talk about cryptocurrencies first, huh? Yeah, so everything's back up. Everything. Somewhat. We haven't quite got gains back to where we were earlier this month, etc., which were kind of a little bit crazy. I think everything was a little bit too high earlier this month, frankly. Yeah, we are kind of back into something that's kind of reasonable. I think last time I checked, Bitcoin was at back over 2,000. It actually dipped down to 1850 for a minute. So if you got in at 1850, good for you. I didn't get the dip, you know. I got part of the dip, but I didn't get all the way in the dip. So it is what it is, you know. I think it's going to be back over 2050 in no time. I think it's going to go way higher than that probably eventually. We should see more of what's going on with the SegWit signaling and all that kind of thing coming up here. It's going to make it a little bit easier for this market to start kind of leveling out again. There are still some very low prices right now. Some very low prices. Three that really struck me as still very low right now at this moment. Monero is still very low. XMR is a symbol for Monero. If you need to know how to look that up on Cryptopia or Bittrex or whatever exchange you're using. Yeah, so Monero is still very, very low. Ethereum Classic is still very low. It's like $14 or something. It's like those are 2016 prices, man. Get in on that. And Steam is still under $1. Steam somehow crept under $1. It almost got up to $2 at one point, and now it's back under $1, and it's been under $1 for a little while now. And to me, that just seems like a buy opportunity. If you were going to get into anything right now that you hadn't got into before, of the big ones that you actually might have heard of, those are the three that I would be looking at right now. Monero is very cheap right now. I don't know why Monero is so cheap right now. So that's one that's surprising to me. It seems to me like if you buy a Monero right now, right, $40, $35 or something, it's just so cheap, it's crazy. You buy a Monero, I just can't see how it's going to get much lower than this. It's got to bounce back a little bit. So that's an easy way to just make some safe, cautious, minimal gains if you wanted to get into that. Once again, though, I don't know if this is legal jargon or what, but I do not give financial advice. I'm just saying, if it were me and I were playing with cryptocurrencies and I had my 2.6 little Bitcoin on Cryptopia and I was trying to sell and buy stuff, I might go ahead and buy some Monero right now. That's all I'm saying. Now, the sell thing is trickier for me to always figure out. Sometimes people ask, what should I sell? What would you sell? Because in a lot of cases, you got to sell something to buy something, right? You can't just pull this money out of thin air. So, what do I think is peaked right now to get off? What's a good thing to sell on the crypto market right now? I have no idea. Honestly, I don't think I would sell anything right now. I would hodl everything. I think all the numbers are still very low. I think the fundamentals for most of the system still looks good. I think they'll still all go up. They might go down again. You know, we might not have hit the bottom yet. They might go down again. So, you know, you got to kind of follow your own spider sense on that. I mean, you are playing a market here, right? It's a little easier to play than the stock market, I think. But you are playing a market here, so you don't know exactly what you're going to get. But yeah, it's hard to know what to sell right now. Basically, what I would do is I would sell anything that looks higher than you think it should be, especially when compared to the other coins, right? So, I think that Bitcoin is still at a hodl price. I think that Ethereum's still kind of at a hodl price. I think Litecoin is definitely at a hodl price. I don't know that I'd buy Litecoin right now. I mean, if you were going to sell something right now, Litecoin might be the thing to sell. So it's a little bit higher compared to the rest of the market than I feel like where maybe it should be. Although Litecoin, the fundamentals for Litecoin look really strong. And if this Bitcoin SegWit thing goes south or goes sideways or anything goes wrong, watch Litecoin explode. So for me, I'm going to be holding some Litecoin no matter what. That's my choice. That's how I'm looking at Litecoin right now. Yeah, so I had some friends talking with me recently. I've had a lot of friends talking with me about actually operating systems, buying new laptops, buying phones, getting rid of old phones, upgrading their phone. And this is a tech and crypto blog, so I did want to get into a little bit of tech. I mean, the last few days I was kind of I wouldn't say it was vacation, but I was still doing crypto trading. I was still posting vlogs for the most part. I was definitely hanging out with my kids, which is really like my fundamental, primary, number one goal in life right now. Is I just want to hang out with my kids. I love them so much, and I have so much fun with them. And I'm very hopeful. Gotta find some wood to knock on around here. Very hopeful that in the immediate future I'm going to be hanging out with my kids a lot more. That's my plan right now. So we'll see how that goes. That's why there's some mixed emotions right now. I'm driving away from my kids. That's a downside. On the upside, I got to hang with my kids a lot the last few days, and I loved every second of it. So I'm still kind of riding that high of getting to hang with my kids 24/7 for 72 hours or whatever. It was beautiful. And then the other plus side is I'm getting out of LA. I'm driving right now out of LA. Out of Orange County, out of Southern California, out of the cops and the gangsters and the pollution and the high prices and the heat, the unbelievable, unmitigated, unending heat. Man, happy to get out of LA. Why do people live here? Why do you live in Southern California? I lived in Southern California for a while, right? I was trying to make it in the music business. I felt like it was a good place to be for that. I can think of very few reasons to live in Southern California. And honestly, only a crazy person would try to make it in the music business. So I don't recommend that for anybody. That's a dead thing. The music business is dead. There's only one real musician at the Grammys. Last time I watched them. One actual musician. Everybody else was a DJ or some like old dude in some kind of weird faux cover band of his earlier band. It was just pathetic. There was no real musicians. There was one musician at the whole thing. And I hesitate to use the word musician because I have zero respect for this person. But Taylor Swift actually had a real band. That's how bad the music industry has gotten. So you think you're going to make it in music? Nope. Not going to make it. Unless you're directly related to some kind of producer who's already, got a fast track to get you on Clear Channel. It's never going to happen. The music industry is dead. Everything on the music industry is garbage. That's why I promote all these other bands. I promote, my own band, right? Leprechauns. You should definitely go check them out if you haven't. We were a good band. All good players. I got some other bands in here. Let me get some of my stuff out of the way and show you. Right? The Deer. Love the Deer. Right? The Deer are awesome. Good band. They're not famous. Nobody knows who they are, right? California Honey Drops, right? They're a good band. I don't have a new interesting band to promote for you right now. I should remedy that probably at some point tomorrow. I'm going to hit up Grants Pass and probably hit up some friends in Grants Pass and maybe do some booking business. And while I'm there, I'm hoping to pick up a couple of demos for some bands that I like. So I'll be able to promote them on this vlog next week, because that's something I want to start doing, is promoting music and just things that aren't main industry music, just playing in the background. Show the CD real quick. So I'm not going to get deep into it, but now you got a little bit of my history with the music industry, where I'm at with all that. So and why I'm doing the crypto game right now, you know what I mean? Because I got into it kind of early because I'm an IT guy and I fix computers and I build networks and I manage data centers and monitor servers and do all this kind of stuff, right? But one of the things that I follow tech blogs, I follow tech news, so I was aware of Bitcoin almost at its inception. It's crazy that I didn't buy it back then. It's crazy I didn't put together a couple of graphics cards and start mining back then. I kind of had a feeling, I felt it even back then, like, wow, this is I knew the blockchain technology solving the man in the middle or the double spend problem, I knew that was important and big and revolutionary. Hindsight is 20/20. It's the best kind of vision you can have to beat yourself up with. Boom. Yep. I'll give you some other hindsight 20/20 later, after August 18th. Not today. I gotta mind my P's and Q's right now. That's why we're talking about tech and crypto. So, but some people were talking about upgrading phones, upgrading computers, laptops, all this kind of stuff. Look at, I do have some concrete advice on that. Like, I'm not a financial advisor, right? Because I feel like I need to say that, because apparently other people say that. I don't want to get sued or something if somebody loses a bunch of money on, like, Monero or whatever it is, you know what I mean? You told me to buy Monero, so I waited 3 weeks, till it was $300, then I bought it, then I lost all my money. It's like, yeah, I'm telling you to buy it right now. Like, if you like, I'm not even going to be able to upload this till tomorrow, right? So who knows what the price of Monero is going to be by the time it's uploaded. You're going to have to look at it yourself. Right now, Monero is about $30. I think that's a good buy price for Monero, right? That's crazy. Like, it should definitely be more than that. But, you know, that's just my opinion. I'm just a dude, so don't listen to me. Spend your money how you want to spend it. However, I do have one piece of financial advice that I will give everybody. Get out of Federal Reserve notes. Do not be holding useless Federal Reserve notes. The Federal Reserve just continues to print money. Also, another money area where I caution people not to count on investing and making big gains in real estate, man. Real estate's overinflated, especially coming from Southern California. Why do you want to live there? It's hot. It's crowded. It stinks. Everything's expensive. There's traffic everywhere all the time. There's no house down there that's worth 50 grand. There isn't. Because to buy a house in Southern California, you have to live in Southern California. And it's a miserable place to be. Get out of Southern California. Listen, get in your car, drive somewhere out of Southern California. Tell me that it wouldn't be kind of interesting to live there instead of Southern California. Even if you drive east, which is a terrible choice because it's miserably hot in the desert at this time of year, east of Southern California. But no matter where you are, it's got to be better than Southern California on some levels. So get out of Southern California, even if it's just for a day, right? Come to Oregon. You know, it's a long drive to Oregon, but do it. Guess what you get to drive through when you're going to Oregon? You get to drive through Northern California. Northern California is gorgeous. Avoid San Francisco, though. That's another place where it's like, dude, why would you pay to live there? San Francisco is a hellhole. It's just terrible. The real estate is ridiculously expensive. You can't park anywhere. Everybody thinks they know everything about everything. San Francisco is like the worst city on the West Coast. Maybe. I give special props to Tacoma as a pretty bad city. And I'm not real fond of LA. And come to think of it, any city with more than 300,000 people is like, dude, just get out of there. There's too many people there. Get out of there. I don't understand why people want to live there. I don't. I lived there a long time. I was trying to do the music-based thing. That's my excuse. But now I don't have that excuse, and I don't live there. If you do live there, I'm sorry, but you're a crazy person. And maybe if you're a multi-millionaire, you can hire a bunch of servants to do everything for you and drive everywhere for you, and you can just stay in your big palace and eat imported everything deluxe. Like, maybe it'd be okay to live there. I look at Southern California like Manhattan, you know? Same thing with New York, right? Cool to visit, cool to go check out, awesome place to vacation, you know what I mean? But, like, to buy a place there and, like, live there full time, like, no. Especially not Manhattan, but especially Southern California. I mean, there's parts of LA that are just as bad as Manhattan, price-wise, everything else, man. It's like, you want to live in Beverly Hills or Brentwood or somewhere like that, it's like, dude, you are going to pay money to live there, and you're just going to be in Southern California. You're not going to be much better off than somebody who lives in Encino or, you know, Rialto or, I mean, you know, it's just, dude, the whole place is just, get out, dude. Get out of there. Why are you there? Think about it. Why are you there? You got friends, you got family. You make friends and family anywhere you go. And guess what? It's not 120 degrees everywhere else you go, like it was all damn weekend down in Southern California. Anyways, back to tech. Yeah, here's my advice on laptops, computers, phones, everything. Don't buy a big name brand. Any big name brand. Because you will pay through the nose to get something good. And if you pay less than that, you will get the most quickly mass-produced junk you've ever seen in your life, right? So do not buy Apple products. Apple is the worst company. They have the highest markups. They engage in the worst form of human slavery and debauchery in their factories. There's nobody worse than Apple. Don't buy Apple. That's number one. Number two would be like, I don't know, if you get a Dell, buy a used Dell, because they're kind of big, and so they're not that great. But if you get a used Dell, you can like kind of get a good price on it. I don't know. People might want to make that argument with Apple too, but the problem with Apple, you're locked in the software, and the Apple software sucks. It sucks. All of it sucks. iTunes sucks. iPhoto sucks. The backup system sucks. Apple's the worst. And then people say, "Oh, what are you saying? Windows? Windows sucks." No, Windows sucks terrible. Get into Linux, man. Any 3-year-old could install Linux. I'm serious. I'm going to teach my 3-year-old. Next time I'm hanging out with my 3-year-old, I'm going to teach her how to install Linux. I'm going to take a video of it. I'm going to make all you feel stupid for using Windows or Apple. Get off of that. That's my advice, okay? Get into Linux. Get off of Windows. Get off of Apple. And don't buy any expensive name brand tech products. That's my advice on all that. All right? Unless you're really in love with a Samsung phone, maybe that's okay, because they do make some nice phones. Not gonna lie about that. Sorry. And the Android operating system is kind of legit, even though Google's super evil, almost as evil as Apple. But hey, at least I can use all my apps on there. Like, you can get real apps on Android, unlike Apple. You can get the F-Droid market. You can do all open source on Android. It's a little bit more legit. Anyway, all right. This is number 16. Sweet 16. Woo! In the bag, baby. Nighttime rolling out of LA sunburn. Blog 16. 16 minutes, 16 seconds. We out.